Socrates, the Greek philosopher, was critical of democracy. In his opinion, democracy did not lead to good governance. He compared the nation to a ship and asked, would you want anyone, regardless of their knowledge of navigation, to be the captain? He answered that just as a ship should be led by an experienced captain, a nation should be led by the wisest. In a democracy, however, the leadership is not in the hands of the wisest, but in the hands of those who win the majority of votes, regardless of their competence. In America, politics is dominated by two parties, Democrats and Republicans. This leads to a polarized political environment where there is no middle ground. It also limits political representation of diverse views. The President of the United States is not elected by direct vote, but by the Electoral College. This means that a candidate can win the popular vote, yet lose the election, as happened in 2000 and in 2016. This system is criticized for not reflecting the will of the people. Campaign financing in America allows for much money to be spent on elections. This leads to the influence of wealthy donors and corporations on politicians and policymaking. Gerrymandering, where political boundaries are drawn to favor one party over another, leads to distortion of electoral results and lack of fair representation. There are laws and practices that make it hard for the poor and minorities to vote. This undermines the principle of equal representation. American democracy falls prey to populism, where leaders appeal to the emotions and prejudices of the public rather than using reasoned debate and policy. This leads to the election of incompetent and unscrupulous leaders. Elected officials focus on winning the next election rather than long-term policy planning. This leads to decisions that are popular in the short term, but not in the best interest of the nation in the long run. For Socrates, leaders should be wise, just, and truthful. In the American political system, leaders are often career politicians or come from backgrounds like law or business. While these backgrounds provide valuable skills, they may not equip leaders with the wisdom that Socrates valued. Socrates would have criticized the influence of special interests in American politics. The need for campaign funding makes politicians dependent on wealthy donors or powerful interest groups, which leads to decisions that favor these interests rather than the common good. But per Socrates, the average citizen lacks the wisdom to choose a good leader. As Winston Churchill quipped, the best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. Therefore, democracy cannot stop Americans from electing an incompetent or unscrupulous leader. Anyone, even a fascist or communist, can be elected to misgovern America and cause much pain to the world. Thank you for watching. If you find this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.